Hello everyone, welcome to EduLine. Before we get started with the video, I would like to request you to subscribe my channel, to like it and also share it among your friends. So today we are going to discuss on essentials of English figures of speech. Now English figures of speech, they are very important part of English language, and these figures of speech, they are used to make the language more decorative and ornamental. And today we are going to discuss about two of the more commonly used figures of speech, simile and metaphor. So let's get started with the video. Now before we go into detail of these simile and metaphor, we need to know what are figures of speech. So figures of speech, they are literary devices. They are some words or phrases which are used in language, avoiding simple language to make the language much more attractive, much more pleasing to the ear. So the function of figures of speech is to make the language much more ornamental and catchy. Now if we talk about simile and metaphor, both these figures of speech, they fall under the category of comparisons. Actually they are figures of speech classified according to the way they are used. So figures of speech used as comparisons. So both simile and metaphor, they are used to make comparisons. Now we will begin with simile. So simile, it is a literary device or a figure of speech which denotes a comparison. It compares two objects of dissimilar nature. Two different objects of dissimilar nature, they are compared, and this comparison is explicit one. This comparison is expressed clearly, and this comparison is made by using words like as or like. So simile is a comparison between two objects of different natures, and this comparison is made by using the words as or like, and this comparison is an explicit one, or it gets expressed. On the contrary, a metaphor is also a literary device or a figure of speech, and it also denotes a comparison, but unlike simile, it doesn't take help of the words like and as. So the metaphor denotes also a comparison between two objects of different natures or two objects of dissimilar natures, but the comparison is here not an explicit one. The comparison is here rather intended, the comparison is rather made implicit, and here unlike simile, we do not take help or we do not use the words as or like to draw a comparison. So this is the basic difference between a simile and a metaphor. Whereas a simile uses words like as or like to draw the comparison, and the comparison is made an explicit one. In case of a metaphor, it is a kind of an implicit comparison where no such words like as or like is used. Now it's application time. Let's see how are similes and metaphors used. So for simile, if we see the sentences, it's given here, he is as brave as a lion. We can see in this sentence, as well as if we go to the next sentence, the girl dances like a peacock. In these two words, we can easily find out the two words as and like have been used. So he is as brave as a lion. So both he and lion, they are two different objects and two different subjects, so they are brought in a comparison. He is compared to a lion, and the comparison is made by using the word as. So again in the second sentence, the girl dances like a peacock. Here the girl has been compared to a peacock, and the comparison between the girl and peacock has been drawn using the word like. So in these two sentences, we see that the comparison is made using the words like as and like, and the comparison is also an explicit one. We can easily get idea of the comparison. We can easily comprehend the kind of comparison it is more actually brought here. So these sentences, they are similes. Now in the next sentences, the next set of sentences, if we move, they are metaphors. Why? If we read the sentences, camel is the sheep of desert, and the second sentence is he is the pillar of his family. Now in the second sentence, camel is the sheep of desert, and also in the second sentence, he is the pillar of his family. In these set of sentences, no such words like as or like, they have not been used. Those words as they were used in simile, they are not used in case of metaphor. So here camel is the sheep of desert. So just as the sheep uses the ship actually sails in the sea. So the camel has been compared to the ship in the desert. So here a comparison between the camel and the ship has been made. Just as the ship, it actually sails in the sea and the oceans, the camel also actually travels. The camel is the ship of desert. So the comparison is brought between the camel in the desert and the ship in the sea. And the next sentence, second sentence, if you see, he is the pillar of his family. Here the comparison is made between he and pillar. So you all know that the pillar, it functions as a support to a building. A pillar is normally used to support the roof of a house or a building. So he is also like a pillar of his family, who holds the entire responsibility, or who has the entire responsibility of his family upon his shoulders. So here also the difference is, here is also the comparison is made between he and pillar. So we can see clearly from these two sentences that there is no such comparison made which is explicit one. Here the comparison is rather intended or rather implicit, and no such words like as or like have been used here. So these are the metaphors and the examples of metaphors. I hope things have been clear to you, the entire concept of simile and metaphor and how they are used. Hope this is clear to you. So once again, thank you for watching the video, and once again I will make this polite request to you: don't forget to subscribe the channel and also like it and share it.